Hello everyone. This section is going to be about PayPal and the different reserves and limitations that PayPal can place on you. This video is going to be about a rolling reserve. This is something that you're probably not going to encounter until you've been in business for a while, at least 3-4 months, but it took me about 2 years before I started receiving a rolling reserve. A rolling reserve is when PayPal takes a percentage of your sale and puts it on hold for a certain amount of time. This is because PayPal, this is very common with dropshipping businesses because PayPal views dropshipping businesses as high risk. You can see here in this email on the screen that this is the email that I got when I first received my rolling reserve, okay? And my rolling reserve is 5% of all of the incoming money, and it is held for 90 days. So this is complicated because people get in a whole bunch of fuss about this. There's a couple things to know here. One, this rolling reserve is very lucky for me, like very, very lucky, because I only have a 5% rolling reserve. The rolling reserves can go up to 30%. Imagine trying to run a profitable business when 30% of the money that you receive is put on hold for 90 days. You literally would have to have some other form of cash flow in order to keep your business going. It can be a big hurdle if that percentage is higher. Luckily for me, it's only 5%, which I believe is the minimum. I don't think it can go lower than 5%. And there is a good thing about having a rolling reserve. PayPal can place, anytime that you receive payments that PayPal considers weird or high risk or just kind of out of the ordinary, they're going to put those payments on hold. So prior to getting this rolling reserve, I was having issues where I was selling expensive items like $300, $400, $500 items, and all of the money was put on hold. And I was able to get it after 2 weeks or after for 5 to 7 days after showing shipment delivery. But it was really frustrating, and I actually ended up getting rid of most of my expensive items because it was screwing up my cash flow so much. I had $3,000 on hold over 7 transactions. It was crazy. But as soon as this rolling reserve got placed on my account, I no longer receive any money, or they don't put any holds on payments that I get. So prior to this, if I got a $300 payment, that whole $300 payment would be on hold and unavailable to me until about a week after the item was delivered. But now that I have this automatic 5% of all of my sales on hold, I can receive $1,000 payments and I just get the money straight away, which never used to happen. So on one hand, I don't have access to 5% of the money I receive. 5% isn't that much, and 90 days isn't that much. It only really sucks for the first 90 days because that's when your 5% is getting taken away. But after you pass the first 90-day period, then the 5% gets added back into your account. So it kind of, those first 90 days are the hardest. After that, you have 5% being taken away, but also your previous 5% being put back in. So it kind of balances out, right? So again, this is one of the ways that PayPal may place holds or limitations on your account. And there are a couple. And don't confuse this with PayPal Jail. PayPal Jail is something that all eBay sellers go through for the first 90 days that they sell on eBay. This is separate from that. Don't think that just because you're through PayPal Jail that you don't ever have to deal with any issues with PayPal. Understand that PayPal is like a bank, and if they view you as risky, they're going to place some holds on your account. My goal here is to educate you about the different possible holds that they may place on your account, right? So in the rolling reserve, there's 2 variables to understand. The first is the percentage. Mine's 5%. It can be up to 30. As far as I know, 5% is the lowest, 30% is the highest. The second is the period of time that the money is held for. I have a 90-day rolling reserve, but some people only have a 30-day rolling reserve. So that means that 5% of each sale is saved for 90 days and then released to you, right? If you had a 30-day rolling period, that would mean that 5% of each sale is saved and then released to you 30 days later, okay? And I've seen 30, 60, and 90 days. I don't know. Maybe there's like a year rolling reserve period. Maybe there's like a 15-day one. I'm not sure. But I know for sure that the percentage can vary between 5% and 30%. And 5 or 10 is manageable. More than that becomes a serious cash flow issue that you will have to figure out. And then the rolling period itself can vary between 30 days and 90 days. Also keep in mind that PayPal will also have another day where they re-review your account and either release the reserve or place a new reserve on your account. Okay, so I think that's usually after a year, but sometimes it can be after 90 days. So just because I have this now, maybe I'm going to get unlucky, and after this 90-day period finishes, it'll go up to like 15%. Or maybe I'll get lucky and it's going to go away completely. There's not really any way for me to know. And unfortunately, this isn't one of those scenarios where you can just call PayPal and talk to the person making this decision. I've tried to do that over and over and over again, and that's just not something that's possible. Even if I respond to this email, it's not even a monitored email inbox, which is so frustrating. Because at least with eBay, I can talk to their merchant support team and they will like look at my account and tell me what's going on and really communicate with me. PayPal's just kind of like, they're more prone to telling you something to calm you down. Like, I've tried to get like these kind of things released, and then you'll call and talk to them, and then they're like, oh yeah, I understand your frustration. That really sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. We're going to do everything we can. I'm going to submit this report, and they're probably going to give you a good positive answer and get rid of this reserve by tomorrow. And then you get a message and it's like, hey, you've been rejected like a minute later. Like, there's a distinction between what reps will tell you to calm you down and keep you peaceful versus the reality of what's going to happen. So I generally don't really talk to PayPal a whole lot because I have issues actually getting in touch with people. That being said, this is all that I know about rolling reserves. I'm going to tell you in the next video about withholding limits, which is a different kind of limitation that PayPal can place on your account. All right, guys. Ciao.